Why is it so important nowadays to have a visual brand identity? Is it really needed for me to grow my business? In today's video, I'm gonna take you through my step-by-step process on how I created the visual identity for a cafe. As I'm going through some of the steps of the design process, I'm gonna give you guys some reasons why I believe that having a visual identity for your personal brand is so important for your growth. Without further ado, my name is Elijah. I'm a graphic designer based in Connecticut, and I create brand identities for small local businesses. And this right here, this is my buddy Snoopy. He's kind of new to the channel, so he's just chilling right here, but he's gonna be joining us a lot more on this channel. So yeah, if you like this type of content where I show you my step-by-step, where I talk about the mental health aspect of being a creative, being a designer, if this interests you, please feel free to subscribe to the channel so we can continue to build this community of confident creators. Such a tongue twister. So this is basically the finished project. And the way I usually create visual identities is I have a step-by-step process, and I'll go through it right now. So basically we start with the research. So this brand is a cafe and a flower shop. So they were looking for something that was floral, something that was organic, fresh, and handcrafted. So based on those words, I have to craft a mood board and a feeling for the final visual identity. Next, we have the mood board. And for the mood board, essentially what I do is I go on Pinterest. I get sort of an idea of the type of design that's done in this business. So for what I notice in some of these, they're very experimental. They're using a serif typeface. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, for this project, I might have to experiment with like finding a serif typeface and kind of altering it to create something unique for the brand. After that, what I do is from Pinterest, drag the images. You could do that, by the way, if you didn't know. You could just drag the images into Illustrator and place them on the mood board. Next, we have fonts. So with the font process, I typically source my fonts from different places. So we got Adobe fonts. So if you pay for the Creative Cloud, you should be able to have access to that. I pay for Envato Elements. I've been watching a lot of tutorials, and I actually genuinely like some of the fonts they have. Some of these are actually, if not most of these, are from Envato Elements, minus this one. In this niche of flower shop, cafe, I noticed they don't really have a specific type of font they use in everything, but I did notice that some of these fonts are altered slightly, or they mix two styles of typeface. Honestly, I didn't really think too much about it. I just put typefaces that I felt worked with the name Willow and Blossom and kind of laid it out in a way that like was visually appealing to me, and I experimented. So of course we started off with this, your typical sans serif. Then I found one that was more organic and sort of like nature, kind of like wonky, I guess, and more like a psychedelic type. And then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if we mixed the two? Automatically I did this and I was like, this is it. Like sometimes that doesn't happen for a while, but for this project, when I was doing it, I was like, wow, I could really see this working. The font process starts there, so just finding the typefaces. Then we go on to the logo mark process. This by far is my favorite part. And I'm not showing it really right here, but in this part, it's usually all in black and white. So I could get a better idea of the shape, the form, the layout, and make sure that works before I even consider dropping a color or a color palette on here. Instead of just having the circle, the O be the circles, since this is a flower shop, it only makes sense to add the flower somewhere. It kind of looks like a flower blossoming a little bit, which was really interesting to me. This is a good time to talk about the versatility aspect of having a visual brand and why that's important. So most people just stop right here. Like, okay, this is my brand, I'm done. I just want just one logo, put it on my left chest, put it on my full back, I'm done. Why having a visual identity is so important is because it's more than just having one logo. Like if you're a logo designer, you stop here. Where it kind of makes your life a lot easier is if you create what we have right here, is all these unique formats, even right here, of how the logo can be. This is just the icon mark. So this is just my Instagram profile. So just having that on my profile picture. Okay, we have another icon mark. We have the word Willow and Blossom in the shape. Very interesting looking. Doesn't take away from the brand or anything. We're still using the color scheme. Boom. We didn't add the flower shop and cafe, but It's implied. Okay, we have another design. We created all of these different applications of just that one logo I created, which is so amazing because now I don't have to worry about trying to squeeze this into a profile picture or trying to use this for my YouTube banner if I'm making a YouTube channel about owning a flower shop and cafe. I don't know. Like, what do you think? What do you think? You agree, right? Snoopy just told me that like just having versatility in all of your logos will set you apart from so many other businesses, because now you don't even have to worry about it. The designer did it for you. He just created so many different applications of just that one logo. And now you could put it on merch. Now you could put it on your website. Now you could put it in your posts. So creating a color palette is my next step, because what I do is I just look at all of my references and I just kind of get an idea of like different colors that go together, colors that connect to the brief and to the keywords and the research that I'm doing, and colors that are popular within that niche. And I would say spend a lot of time on the color palette, because I've been doing a lot of research recently. You want your colors to contrast really well. There's actually a website where you could test the contrast of your colors. There are individuals who are out there who are actually colorblind. So if you don't have enough contrast in your designs, it may not be visible to certain individuals. Of course, we have the patterns. Pattern isn't always needed, but like I said, you want to be setting yourself apart from your competitors. Your competitors just might slap their logo once on whatever they do, but you got a whole pattern. You got a whole suite of different logos. Now people are going to recognize you. It's so important just to have your clients walk away remembering who you are and your brand, because that's gonna make them wanna come back to you. I do a lot of production and printing. I know for myself and my own personal brand, whenever I print my logo on a shirt or a hat, just seeing that and physically feeling it and touching it and holding it and seeing it in the real world is a feeling that you really can't replicate, and a feeling that really kind of tests the value of whatever you created. Because I could show you all day the stuff that I created on the screen, but it may just exist on the screen. So it's important to do what I'm about to say now and show how it would look if it were applied in a real life setting, AKA mockups. So these are all of the mockups and how this visual identity can be applied to the real world. So now we're not just stuck on the Illustrator screen, we're seeing this stuff in action. That's why having the mood board and the research is so important, because without that, we wouldn't be able to create a feeling like this, a feeling of just like floral, organic, fun, colorful pastel that this is evoking. The photos to accompany it is so important as well, because the photos evoke the whole feeling. And that's what creating a visual identity to me is all about. It's about feeling. How does this make you feel? When you walk into a McDonald's, how do you feel? You want to smile when you're at McDonald's because you see that yellow. You could get really deep into the colors and the meanings, and that's more of the brand strategy. For this project, they just gave me a few keywords and they just wanted me to go off of that. Just showing the possibilities, so on business cards. So having the photography is one thing, but I like to incorporate the digital assets on top of the photography to kind of give it like a really interesting look. Here at neobluestudio, our whole thing is we want to amplify your value. So we know your brand has a lot of value. If you're a fish in a crowded pond and you have the same singular logo as all of your competitors, if you have something that makes you unique in that crowded pond, customers see that, customers notice that, and it really boosts your outreach when trying to get customers. So I really hope you enjoyed kind of like the behind the scenes of my process. I also hope you learned something new about why having a visual identity is so important in outreach, visibility, and even your personal growth. Also, let me know in the comments if there are any other videos that you would like me to create regarding brand identity design, logo design, illustration. I'd be happy to create them. I really enjoy doing this and showing up for you guys. Snoopy is the newest addition to this family. So, say hi to Snoopy in the comments too, and yeah, stay cool.